Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. Just saw the new interpretation, musical remake of The Color Purple. So I think that would be 2023 as this year is coming to an end. So by the time you see this, Happy New Year, Happy 2024, or the end of 2023, depending on when you see this review. Should you see the movie? Should you not? Well, I'll make a little caveat. Don't make the mistake that I did. I went to see this one without refreshing myself with a recent contemporary screening of the original, which I want to say was 1987, somewhere between 87 and 91. The original, which I believe had Oprah. Well, Oprah was in the original. Was it? It was Whoopi Goldberg. Now the thing with the original is I don't think I've ever seen the whole beginning to end of the original. I've seen scenes. I did recall, I guess spoiler, in the original, I believe Oprah plays the Sophia character, and she gets popped in the eye. She gets punched in the eye, and I think in the original, she actually loses her eye, and she has to wear an eye patch, which I guess I'll get into in a minute. But they don't really go there with this one. So don't make my mistake. If you haven't seen the original in a long time, or like me, you don't think you've ever seen it from top to bottom, beginning to end, minute zero to minute end of the length of the original, I would say you have to see that one first. And I can kind of go into my experience with it. I do feel like I'm a little unqualified to really fairly rate this movie because I feel, and it's, part of the gimmicks now. We've seen this with Hairspray. Did we see this with Grease? I don't think so, but we've definitely seen it with the movie Hairspray and The Producers, where you have a very popular movie, The Producers or Hairspray. I think The Producers, the original, was from the 60s, and Hairspray was from, I think, that same time, 88-ish, John Waters. And then they, how do we, maximize this property, whatever the fuck. They make it into a musical on Broadway. And then, well, how do we squeeze more money out of the marks? We make the musical version on Broadway into a fucking another movie. So now you have your musical movie. So I guess I learned a valuable lesson here, folks. You have to see the original source material. For instance, even with The Producers, I think I made the same mistake. I don't think that I had seen the original. Was it Mel Brooks and whoever the fuck else in the original Producers? I never saw it on stage, and then I went to see the musical version that had, like, I want to say, was it Broderick and Nathan Lane, and Uma Thurman was in it as the blonde bombshell. So I remember not really enjoying that experience, and I would say that this Color Purple one, for whatever reason, although I can't remember seeing the whole movie top to bottom, I did remember certain aspects, and certain aspects I did not remember. So I think this movie, the new one, kind of is a catalyst for me at some point to watch the original. And I was thinking, the greatest laid plans of mics and men, I was going to see the original before I saw this one. I was going to make it my duty to sit there and fucking watch it on Hoopla or Amazon Prime or however I could find it. Hoopla, by the way, is a free service. If you have a library card, you have access to millions of movies and books. Basically, Hoopla is like a library app that's at least here in the United States. That's like if you have a library card in the US of A, you can get this Hoopla app for free, and you have access to all this stuff, especially older material like the original Color Purple, okay? Just so you know. So why did I go see it? You might be saying, well, gee whiz, Mike, you have all these goddamn things figured out. Why'd you go see the movie if you hadn't seen the original? What's wrong with you? Well, I'll tell you what's wrong with me. The timing. I'm at this particular theater here. It doesn't have a whole lot of screens. It's a nice theater. It doesn't have an IMAX in this one or a what the fuck, a Dolby Digital, but it's still a nice theater. It's a little bit less crowded than the other theaters around here. So I was happy to go to this theater, but the downside was the exact timing of me getting to this theater. I actually got to the theater like 10 minutes after the movie started, which was actually perfect because they play so many trailers and previews and commercials before the movies now. It's typically 20 minutes. With this one, I happen to have my phone still on. It was 25 minutes after the allotted time. It was supposed to start at 5, well, let's say 5:15. The movie got going at 5:40, folks. So that's 25 fluffer minutes. So you have to put that into your equation when you're planning your life. I want to go see this movie, but I've got to plan on 25 fluffer minutes. Now, for me, because I got to the theater 10 minutes late, I had 15 minutes to park, crack my neck, and do other things before I got into the theater, which I did, okay? So I got into the theater just in time for Nicole to put her little foot into the little puddle, and off we go to the movies. Other people in the theater, just so you know, there was not a whole lot of people in the theater tonight or this afternoon, whatever the fuck. I don't know what you call 5:15. Is that an afternoon or is that a night? Is it an early evening, you might say? But then, yeah, 5:15 is a weird time. Is that afternoon or is that evening? Difficult to say. But there was other people in the theater, and there was people that were clapping at the end of the movie. That's nice. So I think it was last weekend, like the Christmas weekend that this thing came out. I don't know how the reception was or how many people went. I really don't know. We do see some familiar faces, which I didn't recognize until the end credits, but not Halle Berry, but Haley Bailey. Haley Bailey is one of the young sisters in this thing. And I do feel like I had all these moments watching this movie where I'm like, yeah, I really wish that I had seen the original, because I feel like in a non-musical version of this story, some of the character depth is going to have more time, because every time you sing a song, the songs are fine, they're wonderful, but you're taking time away from, not to say real acting, but like traditional dialogue scenes and so forth. When you go into song, it's a different animal, it's a different variant of the narrative, and it's just not the same. So I feel like I'm watching the sizzle without having eaten the steak, in other words. The foundation for me to enjoy this story of The Color Purple has not been set in stone. So I'm sitting on this condo of an infrastructure of my imagination merging with Oprah and Steven Spielberg's imaginations, and yet I have no foundation to rest my weary head. So, my bad. I mean, but like I said, the timing was perfect, and I really just wanted to see this movie. And to be honest, I hate watching movies at home. I get very restless. I know other people are the exact opposite. I have friends that tell me they go to the movie. If they go to the movie theater, they get anxious. They feel like they're wasting their life in this 2-hour experience, and they'd rather just watch the movie at home so they can fiddle fuck around and look at their goddamn phone like a zombie for 2 hours while they watch the movie in the background. I'm the opposite. I like to go to the fucking theater. I like to sit in the goddamn seat with all these other weirdos who've been sitting in, and I like to watch the movie on a nice big screen. And I know assholes will say, oh, I have a 52-inch TV at home. Well, good for fucking you. I like to watch it on a 1,000-inch screen. Okay, assholes? So let's get back to the review. I just feel, there's a lot of story here. One thing that I'll say, I guess spoilers, if you've seen the original, if you've seen this one, the Mr. Character redemption, I don't know. I guess I'm just an old-fashioned asshole that if somebody has beaten me and someone has abused me and separated me from my sister for my whole life, I'm not going to invite them to a goddamn Easter banquet, no offense. I don't know, man. It's one of those things where when she's holding that fucking razor and she's giving him the shave, I'm like, yeah, slice his throat, Celia, slice his goddamn throat. That's how I feel, you know what I mean? I thought that was going to happen, and I'm kind of wincing, because I'm like, I know she's going to fucking slit his throat. She's going to cut his goddamn jugular, and this will be great. But she doesn't. So it's really a character study in some regard of this. It's an ensemble, yet it's not an ensemble. Celia, which I believe was the original, Whoopi Goldberg played the original, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be mistaken. But basically, this lady, who I don't know who her name is, she did a wonderful job as this character. But like, this character is like always putting up with a lot of shit from people, whether it's Mr. or she's getting abused by people. She's visiting Sophia in the jail, which is heartbreaking. Yes, that was a little bit odd, because in the original, I thought the Sophia character, who I do believe was played by Oprah Winfrey, ends up like losing her whole eye. Like she gets, knocked out and she gets punched in the eye, or her eye gets gouged, and she's blind in one eye and she has to wear a patch. In this one, it seemed like her eye got fixed. Like I don't know. So I don't know. Yeah, just some heart wrenching shit in this film. I always kind of wince when I see these women get slapped around and abused. I mean, look, it's part of the fucking storytelling. It's the story. But like I said, that being said, this Mister guy is such an asshole for the 89% of the movie or 93% of the movie that you're kind of hoping he gets what comes to him, but instead he gets to eat at the Easter dinner. You know what I mean? So forgiveness, okay? That's the lesson, I suppose. So the tinges of lesbianism in this thing is interesting. What's the Shug, the singer Tajiri Henson? I'm sorry if I'm saying these names wrong, but she's been a big thing for a while, and I think she played this character with zest. I'm trying to think if that character was in the original, but like I said, I don't know because I really don't think I've even seen the top to bottom of the original. But I'm curious who played that character in the original. Could it have been? Well, I don't know. I was going to say Robin Givens. Was she in on that or not? Or I don't know who it would have been. Aretha Franklin. Fuck if I know. But basically, interesting character. But you think that she's going to kind of swoop in and save Celia. But I really felt like a heartbreaking moment was when Celia rushes out to her Cadillac or her car, and she says, "Take me with you." And she says, "Next time." I mean, that's always the fucking way with these assholes. I mean, I've had so many fuckers next time me. It's unbelievable. People like you have this big fucking emotional connection with some asshole, and then they're in the position to help you. And when it comes for you to say, "Take me with you," they say, "Next time." Well, it's like, you know what? Go fuck yourself. There's not going to be a goddamn next time, asshole. But of course there is in this. Why? It looks like Celia finally gets rescued from, Tajiri or Big Shug or whatever the fuck. And they even bring in the next generation of oppressed women. Mary Agnes, Don't Call Me Squeak. And I think like a character like that was probably more because I'm telling you, when I'm watching this one, I'm thinking, what did I miss from the original? I'm feeling like that Mary Agnes Squeak character was probably better developed in the original. And just because of time constraints, we don't have that. By the way, there's this whole fucking wrestling film debate going on about the missing Von Erich. I did do my Mike's Instant Movie review on the Iron Claw, but I might have to do another video further exploring this narrative, okay? Because it seems like there's a demand for that, for me to translate to people why they got rid of the Chris character. Not that I'm I'm not financially invested in that movie. I just have some thoughts, so I'll do another video. But going back to this one, like I said, they felt like, and also, Harpo, which, I mean, do I have to explain this? But I will, is actually Oprah spelled backwards. So if you've ever watched an Oprah Winfrey project and it says at the end, Harpo Productions, it's not because she has a Harpo Marx fetish, although that might be part of it. It's because that's Oprah spelled backwards. I'm sure everybody fucking knew that. But I always feel very intelligent when I mention shit like that. Like I'm on the inside of some fucking breaking news. But that's why the character is named Harpo, because it's Oprah spelled backwards. Ha ha ha. Or maybe that's why Oprah was named Oprah. Maybe her father or her mother or somebody named her, and they liked the name Harpo and they spelled it backwards to get Oprah. Who knows? So anyway, Harpo's in this thing. But doesn't Harpo have a couple of siblings early on in the film when they're all youths, and basically his stepmother Celia and so forth? And further fucking more, there's all these rumors and stuff about Mr. had these other wives, like he's on his third, like Celia's like his third wife. But did he kill wife number 2? Did he murder her? I mean, we never get a resolution, and yet good old Mr. is invited to the Easter dinner, and he redeems himself by bringing back the sister, of which, because of him trying to rape the woman, 40 or 50 years ago, prior, now he brings her in and her kids from Africa and so forth. And I don't want to say it's convoluted, but it's a little bit convenient, to be quite honest. And maybe, like I said, had I seen the original, maybe all that stuff is kind of better worked out. Did Danny Glover play the original Mr. in the original one? Or Albert? But my point is, in a strict narrative without the singing, I think some of these issues that I have with this movie are probably resolved, and therefore I'm saying don't make my film going mistake. Take the time, regardless of getting to the cinema. Like don't make my mistakes, film goers. Make sure you see the original before you go see this one. Otherwise, I think you'll be out on an island to yourself like me, where I did appreciate the scope of the movie. I did enjoy things that I was seeing. I did feel things. I got emotional. Yet I felt like I was kind of missing out on a great deal of levels because I hadn't seen the original. And so some of the things that they're assuming, they're assuming that every asshole in the theater has seen the original, but they don't realize that I'm out there in the world having not seen the original, folks. So there you go. My bad, my fault. Sorry, Oprah. Sorry, Steven. But you got my goddamn money anyway. So anyway. But yeah, should you see the movie? Should you not? I would say go see it, but familiarize yourself with the original. Now, if you really wanted to get down and dirty with this thing, Oprah's had a bit of a challenging year with the whole Maui controversy. If you're not familiar, there was this horrible storms and weathers over there in Maui, and then her and Dwayne Johnson did this video trying to give people a way to donate money. Yet it turns out that they kind of had a vested interest because they own this property over there. So of course they want your money. And, people, in the comments section, hey, you two are rich assholes because we've bought all your goddamn movies and watched all your TV shows for 40 years. Why don't you two fund this recovery project since you're so concerned? So there you go. Everybody's upset. Hashtag whatever the fuck. So, I don't know, folks. That's about it. I mean, I do feel like it's a well-made movie. I do think it's kind of funny in this movie or any movie like this, like a musical adaptation of another source material, that like the characters are kind of having a regular conversation, and then it's like, just give me a minute. I'm going to go over here and sing a song for 5 minutes. Like, let me just sing a song about what we're talking about. You pretend that you don't see me. I'm going to go over here and sing, and then I'll come back and we'll just pretend that I didn't start singing. I know, it's part of the process. It's the fourth wall. I get all that theater-y bullshit. I've been around the goddamn block with all this crap. I know the techniques, assholes. You don't have to fucking comment me. I'm just saying it's just funny. If you just watch a goddamn movie like this, or Hairspray, the musical, or the characters are just talking like normal, and then it's like, just give me a second. I'm going to go over here and sing. Okay, I'm back. What the fuck? It'd be funny if we could pull that shit in real life. Like, you're talking to someone, you're having a heated argument. Hey, blah, 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 fuck you, blah, blah, blah. Let me just go sing about my feelings to myself, to whoever's watching. I'm going to go sing about it. You're at the goddamn DMV. You've been there for 4 hours. You get to the front of the line. You're very frustrated. They tell you that you have to go to another line. And you start singing, I'm at the DMV and I'm frustrated. I have to go to the front of another line. I mean, that'd be kind of fun to pull that shit. You know what I mean? They're telling you have to go to another line. And rather than just going to the other line, you sing. You sing in their face. I mean, what the fuck are they going to do about it? Why am I holding this light when it's not working? For Christ's sakes. So that's it, folks. Mike goes to the goddamn movie. I don't know what the fuck to say. I mean, I don't want to give it a shitbag review just because I didn't see the original and I'm left out. But, all the acting was good. I mean, Celia and the sister and the singer and all this stuff. This, I don't know, like this last minute redemption. Oh, the other thing that I didn't like, and I don't know how this was handled in the original, was the whole, he wasn't your daddy after all. Like the guy, and so was the father of Celia's kids her stepfather? Because it felt like he was knocking her up. Like, did I miss something? But like, who was knocking Celia up when she was so young? I felt like it was her father, which it turns out to be her stepfather. So therefore, the kids are not deformed. They're not the sad children of molestation, inbreeding or incest type of thing, because they are not. Because if the stepfather is the father of those children, they would not be, the children of incest. So they would be fine in theory. Because I didn't see, was there a character that I missed that was the father of these kids? So I guess that was a thing. Anyway, the movie's fun. Go